mnie. Meanwhile.
So there's the first clip. Good afternoon, everyone, or good morning, I should say. Treasure Troller here from the partially mask-wearing militant state of Michigan. So there was clip one. A little bit of an intro was kind of funny, too, because I was watching a vlog just before I left work. Another one of these Crowder things, and they were talking about, they didn't know if this was a slap contest or a bitch fest. So it was kind of ironic that I made this clip. Now I'm going to be very clear on a couple of things before I try to start into this conversation. The first thing is, I'm not on Steven Crowder's side. I'm not on it for a number of reasons, but one of the biggest reasons is the taped phone call and then playing it back. I don't care if the terms were great and they wanted to replay how happy I was about the contract that I was getting. I would not be able to trust that person anymore. I would not be able to trust them. The second thing is, I'm going to be talking a little bit out my ass on some of the stuff I'm not 100% certain. So you need to take, we're going to talk a little bit about subscribers, ad revenue, and demonetization. And I'm not monetized. So, but I'm sort of looking at it. I'm going to show you a clip in a minute. A clip that I edited specifically to insert in here. And talk about the clip afterwards. So in this recorded phone call, Steven is, and even before, he's appealing for the youngins out there, the youngins of YouTube. And how this is, a contract like this would be bad for them. So here's the clip. And then I'll start going into my analysis.
But for other people coming up facing these kinds of contracts.
Okay.
A kid who comes in with 500,000 YouTube subscribers or something like that, 100,000. Let's say some other kid you're paying six figures to come in and do it. There's not the penalty of the demonetization or if they're removed from iTunes, Apple, YouTube.
Yeah, sure there would be.
That's kind of wild.
So that was the clip. And I want to get back to the example of a YouTuber with 100,000 subscribers. And I'm sort of bringing Lamont in a little bit on this. I'm sort of assuming this is what Lamont would say to me. And I could be wrong. But if I had 100,000 subscribers, okay, a couple of things have happened. Now, I might not be monetized. And if I was sitting in a room or even on the phone with Lamont, and we hadn't really met, first time talking, and Lamont's talking about monetizing on YouTube, and he says, so what do you got 100,000 subscribers? He's, what are you making in, ad revenues and stuff? And I would say I'm not monetized. I think Lamont would probably read me the riot act. If he said, what, YouTube won't monetize you, they kind of flagged you can't get monetized. And I said, no, I just never did it. He would be saying, well, you're missing out on a revenue stream. You're crazy not to do it. You're insane not to do it. So I'm thinking someone with 100,000 subscribers is probably monetized on YouTube. They're getting ad revenue. I wouldn't be surprised if they have a couple of product endorsements as well. Or they've probably been approached by a couple of people about advertising their product. It wouldn't surprise me. But the other thing that these 100,000 subscribers have done is they've stayed within the terms of YouTube. Crowder talks about, I wouldn't take a penny from you. If you came to my platform, I wouldn't take a penny from you. Well, then he's assuming that they're monetized. But these are people that are staying within the guidelines of YouTube, and they've monetized their channel, and they're making money. They're doing exactly what the Daily Wire is requesting of Steven Crowder. Stay within the guidelines of YouTube. And the other thing that doesn't make a lot of sense to me is this circular argument that they're in, or that Steven wants to maintain, and that is the contract. When it's like that North Dallas 40 movie. When I call it a business, you call it a game. When I call it a game, you call it a business. When I call it a movement or whatever, you call it business. It doesn't matter, because in the end, they can both agree. They could both agree today. They could both sit down and they could both agree. I think Scott Adams had the best solution when he said that if money is no object to Steven, then he could take a little bit less money and say, I'm responsible for all social media. I'm responsible for it. That way, if I get demonetized or kicked off a platform, Daily Wire does not lose 1 cent. Now, they may say, well, we'll lose in ads. Okay, I'll take even less. We don't run ads. They'll make something up, but it was a solution to make Steven responsible for all social media and remove any financial liability from Daily Wire. But even if they come to an agreement that makes both of them very unhappy, less money for Steven, which means less money for his entire group, and less money for the Daily Wire, or Steven takes a little bit more of the responsibility. Daily Wire is relieved of some of the financial responsibilities of the contract. It's less money. Even if they're both happy, they sign the agreement, and Steven Crowder starts doing his channel and making YouTube videos, however you want to say it, his live show. They still have to appease YouTube. So I don't understand where you know, it's almost like, Steven, we can't give you this stuff, even if we wanted to, and make you happy, and we're happy because you're on our channel. We still have to deal with YouTube. It just doesn't make sense. It's just a circular argument that cannot be resolved. I mean, other people have gone out of their way to avoid this by Redacted, which is a great news show if you're interested in watching maybe some unbiased stuff. Redacted is good. Viva Free, Viva Barnes Law is another one. They pop up on YouTube. They talk a little bit, maybe 30 minutes, and then they say, okay, we're going over to Rumble. We're leaving YouTube, we're going to Rumble. They could do that just as easily. Now, Lamont could, Lamont has talked about how he deletes his live streams. And I didn't quite understand. He says they're starting to separate live streams from videos, but I guess Carter could do the same thing where he comes on for 30 minutes. They do those live ads that they want him to do. They fill the first half hour with, hi, how you doing? How's the wife and kids? Oh, by the way, inflation's really high right now, and you're not making much money in your mutual fund account, but there is one sure investment right now, and that's gold. So, I mean, he could do a few of those and then say, hey, we're going to talk about this, this, and this. Unfortunately, we're going to be we're going off YouTube. We're going to Rumble. So see y'all on Rumble in about 30 seconds. Because he's demonetized on YouTube anyways. So it doesn't benefit him to stay on there, but I imagine they can still he can still talk the ads. But anyways, all that aside, to me, it's a bullshit argument, because in the end, they have to adhere to the terms of YouTube, just like those young'uns out there are doing right now. I don't know if Steven's got this demented side in him that he's like wanting them to push the envelope even more and more so they can retain lawyers to fight YouTube. I don't quite understand the argument, because the people are already doing what YouTube wants them to do. That's how they built an audience of 100,000. But, maybe I'm wrong. Well, with that, this is Treasure Troller saying aloha and good day.